Okay, let's go ahead and get started there, everybody. Welcome back to another 1 p.m. PST YouTube stream. I'm your host, Strangebeard Jim, and today we are going to be getting back into some, uh, well, we're going to continue where we left off yesterday, which was my kind of struggle through the exercise. But so that's the plan for the Pega certification studies. We're going to continue with that. We got some videos to make public today. One of which I kind of recorded offline, and I hope that it will be really good for the Warframe community. I'm going to try to um, get the word out on it because I could really use a lot of support on trying to get that out there. Um, and then, you know, um, the last thing for today's schedule is Warframe, Final Fantasy VII. Why did I say Warframe? Yeah, Warframe on the brain. We got Final Fantasy VII later on tonight. The original, not the remake. Just wanted to put that little clarity in there. But if this is your first time ever clicking on these kind of Pega videos, if you're like watching this on YouTube, welcome. You're kind of late to the game in this particular case because, well, I've done. If you're like trying to study for the Pega certification yourself, um, then I'm right at the very end of the mission that the Pega Academy gives. So, you know, if you want to study a particular topic, I would recommend that you go back through my playlist and look at all the topics that I've covered for 8.7. Now, again, if you're at a later version, like say 23 or beyond, don't be afraid to kind of still study through what I'm talking about because um, it's still something that you may experience, you know, during your lifetime of, you know, working with the Pega environment because not only will you know, will you be, you know, potentially working with keywords that, you know, we have in 8.7, but you may be talking with individuals that have only trained with 8.7, you know, and haven't, you know, updated themselves on the latest, you know, content. Okay, so just kind of bear that in mind. Um, Now, um, let me talk a little bit about who I am and why I'm making these videos. So, I'm currently a unemployed software developer whose last job was working with the Pega environment. My last employer, we were given a authorized training partner, um, you know, to teach basically like 20 of us, myself included, about the Pega environment and how to use it, how to go about, you know, working with it, and so on and so forth. However, pretty much the majority of us were not happy with the instruction that was being done and went full self-study, myself included. Now, if you're thinking to yourself, oh, these, you know, apparently you have no idea what you're talking about. This guy must have been dealing with some unruly students or some crap like that. You know, then no. Needless to say, he was messing up so bad that even his coworkers saw firsthand how bad he was messing up. So um, the fact that the guy even brought in uh, someone that he knew, that he said knew more about the subject than he did on like the second half of the teaching, I was like, oh, no, okay, this is terrible. Um, so it was bad. Okay. Um, a lot of us had asked to be put back into another training cycle with a different authorized training partner, but that was denied. We were basically forced out into the contract world and said, you know, swim. So, which is kind of also unfortunate because the job, the one and only time that I took the certification, I was definitely not prepared for. They forced me to take it. I was not ready for it. I had not covered all the subjects in my self-study at that time, and they said either take it now or we're gonna lay you off. And I did not want to be laid off, so I took it and I failed it. I knew that I was gonna fail it. Not to say that didn't try my best at trying to pass it, but needless to say, it was still um, it was still kind of a rough experience. So I missed six more questions than the you know maximum that I need and that I was allowed to. So I was basically um, I got like a 59% out of the 65 um, that was the bare minimum. So needless to say, you know I did not pass, and um, I told them that I was going to fail it. So I failed it, and well, I didn't go back for a second time, and that obviously falls on me. You know, I didn't continue with my self-study nearly as often as I should have, and tried it again. I was kind of hoping that, when I got to the contract job, then I would be put with a mentor that would kind of assist me in growing into having a system, being a system architect. But that also did not happen. They basically said, "We will answer your questions, but that's it." Which um, I, I I recommend to anybody that's watching, if you are a lead, if you're a manager, or if you eventually get to that point, of being a lead, being a manager, being, in charge of the business or something along those lines, set up a mentorship program. You know, have people that are interested in helping the, new hires that you get into your company and teach them everything that there is to be taught to them. Okay. You know, so that they themselves can do the exact same thing to the next hires and the next hires and the next hires. Okay. Have that system in place because believe me, it helps. It helps so much. Unfortunately, today's corporate world doesn't have that, or at least not many do. At least not from what I've seen. Um, in all the jobs that I've had, there's only been like one job that actually had someone that was actually interested in my overall development. And unfortunately, that business closed its doors. They let off, the majority of their workers, after only 3 months of being there, which is really sad. Um, so, um, but I'm not an authorized training partner. this is not meant for an instructor-led training. I'm working towards my certification much like anybody else. So if you're thinking that I'm either one of these two, the authorized or the instructor, then I'm sorry to say you're going to have to change your mind on that one because I'm neither. Um, so just bear that in mind. Okay. Now, concerning the business architect, if you're watching this video and you are, in hopes of trying to learn more about the business architect, I'm sorry to say, but I'm well past this point at this already. If you're trying to learn how to get the business architect certification, then I would recommend that you go back through my playlist that I have on my channel to study the 2 missions and 2 modules. It's all there. Just in order, so you can just kind of go, part 1 all the way through, part 100 or whatever. I don't know where it exactly ends right at this moment in time, but it's all there. Okay, so um, so go ahead and check that out. Um, like I said before, even if you're working on platform 23, you know, hopefully you are, studying, the 8.7 should still be helpful. Okay, not exactly perfect, but it will ho hopefully be helpful for you. Now, these 2 modules here are very, in a small way, talking about the Pega Express delivery. I don't think that it covers enough about the Pega Express delivery for you to pass the 12% that the Pega Express delivery is going to cover for the certification. So that's why I would recommend taking the mission as well. Learn about the mission and learn everything that there is to know about the Pega Express delivery. So when you do take the business architect certification, it will be perfect for you. You will be able to pass it without any problems whatsoever, and you will be good. At least that's the plan, right? Or that's the hope. So now I'm on the last 2 parts of the system architect. Okay, we've covered the 2 missions, the low code app builder and the low code app builder extended. Okay, there is one challenge, out of all these modules and challenges that I've done so far that I have not completed, which is localizing uniform. Still waiting for an email about that. Haven't gotten it, so I'm still waiting for someone to kind of reply about what they're going to do to try to fix this because it's not working for me. The time when I upload the file into the UI form to get the translation to work, it does not upload. It just does it. And the server rejects the file. So without it really saying that it rejects the file. So there's nothing that I can do on this one. So and I followed the steps perfectly for it to be, you know, I'm or I tried to use their steps that they give in this to, you know, get the get it to work, and nothing happens. So there's not much I can really do about that. So I'm waiting for them to kind of get back to me on that. The next part is the system architect, which um, yesterday I tried, working a little bit more about the system architect, getting it to, getting through it all, but well, uh, you know, once again, I'm kind of met with um, the fact that even myself, you know I I told you throughout this journey that it is in your best interest to try to study the challenges over and over and over again because they're not gonna they're not gonna help you with that. Okay. Um, all the challenges that they've done has just been focused on that one particular topic, and that's it. They don't go anything further than that. Okay, they don't revisit any of the past work that you do. So you don't get a reinforcement of what you've learned in the past, which is kind of unfortunate because um like you if you look back on like any kind of like regular textbook or something like that, um they teach you one thing, right? Okay, like, hey, yeah, here's some addition or something along those lines. Let's start really basic here, right? And they kind of like teach you addition to start off with. 1 plus 1 is equal to 2. And, right? And then they kind of teach you subtraction, okay? Which, you know, is, a little bit built off of the addition, okay? A little bit. And then they kind of combine the two together. Okay, they kind of combine them, like um, 2 plus 2 minus 1 or something along those lines. Okay, they kind of combine the two to kind of help you reinforce, not only what you learned in with the addition, but what you also learned with the subtraction. It kind of reinforces that. Okay, they don't do that in this mindset. They just kind of say, okay, here's a material, here's a challenge that covers said material, and that's it. And I feel like they're kind of doing a disservice on that because there's a lot of material here, and for me, it'd be really nice if they had like some kind of reinforcement challenges, not just you know topic challenges, and that's it. Okay. Something to kind of reinforce um, your growth as you proceed through these missions. Um, Now, what I would, in some ways, I would suggest that they just, if necessary, have like a secondary mission that, allows you to kind of take, like not only take the missions that are talking about the subjects, right? But also put in some challenges that kind of build off of those two. Like, you do the first challenge, then the second challenge, and then you do a third new challenge that adds, the possibility of doing both of them at the same time. Okay, then you add the third topic, and then you do another challenge that adds, all three of them together. That kind of thing. Just increase, if necessary, increase the development time of these challenges so that, people understand that, hey, this is building off this next one, this is building off this next one, this is building off this next one, and just kind of reinvent the wheel each and every single time. That builds up, experience, that builds up knowledge about the development and so on and so forth, you know. And I know that that would help me out. Um, that might not help out every single last one of us. Let's face it, some people might be able to, do it once and absolutely know, or, they might remember exactly how to go about doing it, in the future. That's not me, unfortunately. So, um, but yesterday, we went through um, we went through this scenario here, and um, we got through tasks 1 through 3, um, but I had to use the mission exercise solutions um, to get through them. Okay, I could not remember the exact steps that I needed to do in order to get through these very uh, limited descriptions. So, um, and obviously, I know that's a problem. Um, I don't like having to kind of rely on the mission exercise solutions to get the job done. And, I would love to be able to, um, remember all the steps that I need to do in order to handle this myself. But like I said, they don't necessarily give you that um, helping hand in the academy, I feel. So, um, uh, so, um, not much I can really do about that. Um, so, we're just gonna continue to reset the instance, go through these tasks, hope that we can verify everything within the time limit that they give, because they will eventually say, okay, well, you, you know, you didn't meet the 3 hour mark, so we're gonna have to stop. And unfortunately, I have to go through this quickly because 15 tasks um, is quite a lot, especially when I'm not quite sure exactly what they um, I can't remember exactly the step-by-step process in this particular case. So, um, but hey, in some ways, this does, help a little bit. Um, I really don't like the idea that they basically gave, um, us the function here. It would have been nice if they basically kind of, you know, taught us this instead of just giving it to us. Um, but then again, they're hand holding, and it's kind of unfortunate. So, all right, well, the I'm gonna move the steps here over to another screen, so that I can kind of look at them at the through another window, and you know I'll be able to um, you know go through them step by step. So just to kind of give you guys a heads up as to what I'm going to be doing here. So here's the um, author at tourist. I'm gonna sneeze. Pardon me. Okay, sorry about that. All right. So I'm probably not going to be speaking all that much during this, so because I need to kind of get through this quickly. So if I'm like talking and trying to explain and stuff like that, I lose time, unfortunately. So unfortunately, the loading times is god awful. So not much I can really do about that either. expiration date. There we go. So click customer information. Configure the view. Validations. Expiration date. It's before. Today. And then we have the error message. Copied from the page. There we go. Yeah, okay. Just making sure that you all can kind of see this screen here. All right. Save that. Okay, now we go to the Dev Studio. Okay, app. Reservation, user interface, section, and then click customer information. Why I can't do the password and the 25 age, age, on and within the app itself, I don't really know. Like, that should also kind of be in validation, should it not? So it feels very weird the fact that I have to go to 3 different locations to do validations on 3 different fields that um, um, that should be like pretty much um, fairly easy for me to do, you would think, you know. But no, you have to go through all of this process here to try to get um, oops, I didn't mean to do that because I still need to do presentation and do the 8 characters. There we go. And then we go up to process. I think it's flow action. Now you guys might be like going, Jim, how are you doing this? It's like, well, I'm, I did this from yesterday, or I watched the video about it, so um, so um, you know, this is like my third time trying to um, try to handle this right at this moment in time. So, okay, and message right there, submit. There we go, and save that. Close that down, save that. That's done. Save that, close that down, save that, close that down, and save that, and close that down. And then, you know, we can, oh, we can basically confirm, you know, the information in there. You know, I'm just gonna go ahead and verify the mission exercise while I wait for this to load. Okay, so date of birth. I'm gonna set it for that. We have the login credentials being blah blah. And then we have the expiration date being in the past. So submit that. Okay. Oh, and they're saying, hey, at least 8 characters long. So we'll just go ahead and do blah blah. Submit that. And once again, you know, the expiration date must be in the future, and you must be 25 years old to rent a car. Um, so expiration date, there's the future, and this one, once again, you know, the control on this part, you know, only goes down, you know, 10 years or so from that, so it's not really that great. So okay, and it gets passed, so we're good with that. And the user story has been verified. So for those of you that are kind of wondering, let me verify. Let me show you that screen here real quick. There you go. So verified. So we move on. All right. So next part of the step here is talking about the Savable rental customer data page. Okay, now this part I don't know what the heck they were doing on here. So I'm probably gonna have to go through the exercise again on this because you know, I just don't know. This is, you know, they kind of did their own thing on it, and the description doesn't really talk about it all that much, or you know, the description doesn't really give a whole lot of information about it, and that's where it's kind of unfortunate on this because it's one of those things where it's like, okay, well, you know, it would be helpful if you guys, you know, discussed it a little bit more, you know, gave more information about um, what you're doing here because um, this isn't really that helpful. Now, what was it? I think it was pages and classes that they were going to be going through. Let me, let me move forward on the video here. Nope. They went down to look up here and did the data transform, and then they put in some random data transform word that, once again, they didn't specify in the description, which I find very irritating. Hold on a second. Once again, I'm not quite sure what they typed in. Oh, right, the save new customer. Um, which, you know, they kind of hinted at, but, um, you know, but again, they don't outright state this. They have like spacing in between each one of them, and it's like, you know, that obviously doesn't work for a data transform name. So, that's so yeah. Um, right, and then they want to go in here. Then they do the create and open. Then they add like pages and classes in here that they once again they don't really um, they don't really discuss at all. And again, that's you know I feel that that's kind of a disservice for us as um, you know in terms of trying to work on these exercises because they don't outright like um, this is information that we're gonna have to kind of try to assume, like this D rental customer savable, for example, that they're kind of talking about at this point, right? The page name. I mean, where was it ever mentioned prior? And that's why I'm like, okay, guys, can you give me a little bit more in terms of what pages and classes to use? You're not really doing that in this exercise, or you're not really giving that in the um, you're not really giving that in the description at all, or the acceptance criteria, or anything along those lines. Okay, this one is going to be fairly lengthy because they're going to kind of show like there's going to be like multiple steps. Yeah, there it is. Okay, so we go to definition. They want you to update the page, um, which is once again, the D rental customer savable that they don't mention at all. With values from work page customer. There we go. And there it is. So we got first name equal to first name, and we're going to be kind of expanding this all the way out to 14. So let me just kind of set all of these up because there's 14 of these that I need to do. There we go. So okay. Fuck. Trying to do this all by keyboard here to try to save a little bit of time so I don't keep on moving my hands around a little bit. Okay. Username, password. Okay. There's that. And I think they don't really care about like the one in here. They kind of handle it in the last screen, if I'm not mistaken, or in this screen up here. So yeah, they switch over to this one, save it, and then they do this. So I'm gonna go ahead and pause and kind of adjust that. I'm gonna close that one down because we don't really need it up anymore. So they say test case out of scope for mission exercise. Hey the Rose, how you doing? Back to the stream. And that's it for that. I guess I'll just go ahead and save it once again because I don't know if the one, if the message there, gets saved. Now they also save it, so looks like they are pretty good there. Okay, hold on. You're cutting through that a little too quickly. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and close this one down, even though they kind of keep it up. But we're gonna go case types, rental reservation. We got the step here, which I believe they're gonna be doing the automation for. So automations for save data page. Selecting that. Um, which there's a lot there. Or wait, hold on. No, they did the user associated property. Then they did what customer I think it was that they had there. Yeah, let's verify that real quick. So save data page. Yep, that's fine. Selecting that, sure. Um, and they did the customer, right? Okay, and they go inside that. Okay, so this is, they have this as save new customer. So that's, you know, um, they have that name. So now they go into here and they do refer to data page, and then they have rental customer savable. And then they do like a new customer here. I remember that. I forget, did they go into the data page itself or no? Let's see, let's find out. Um, no, they did not. Okay, so they just go up here to save, and then they are pretty much done with that. So, pause that. Okay, so we'll go ahead and close that out. Don't need that. They say, hey, we're going to move that up here for some reason. Sure. And then I take it that they're going to, yeah, now they're going to test it out. So I'm just going to go ahead and verify the mission test at this point. Um, so um, Right. So this is basically about like, hey, I'm gonna put some random information in here, Tom, and then they're gonna kind of show the fact that they have the information there. So I just say Tom Thomas. We put in the birthday. You know, we put the licensing expiration date to a future date because it's still building upon the original code. So you click submit. No, I don't care about the password or anything along those lines. We're gonna approve it. So there's that. So then they go over to, I think it's data types. Yeah, and then they kind of click on that to kind of show the fact that um, the records are going to show the fact that you know, Tom Thomas is there. So now, obviously, this is, they put in like all their information in there, but I don't really care about that right at this moment in time. So once again, I'm going to show the fact that we are at the end and confirmed. So there you go. These tasks are done. So we don't really have to worry about that. We're moving on to the next task now. So okay. So now, so we'll go back to the App Studio. Let's see. Um, okay, so we're going to go to the rental reservation. We need to route the verify new customer step to the account approvals work queue. So, so that's the first thing that we need to do when it loads it. Okay, verify new customer. So we need to route that to the work queue of the account approvals. So, so we're going to save that real quick. Um, okay, we're going to configure the view to verify new customer view to display the collect customer information, which they actually have a view already made for us, which is this, the collect customer information view already done, which they want us to set that to the read only. So there's that. So we click on submit. Everything's good there. Then we add a widget to the dashboard to display the work list of the accounts approval work queue, which I believe you go to the preview, you go to the dashboard. Um, Then we need to add a new widget, which add widgets. Then instead of work queues, we want a work list. So we add that selected. We're going to go ahead and go into the work list here to display work from other work queues work. And then I think the work queue in question that we have to display is account approvals, if I remember correctly. We save that. There's that. We move the work list, you know, above into the second section there, and then we publish. Let me confirm that through the mission exercise solution that they have here. Let me make sure that I'm not skipping any steps or I messed up somewhere. So yeah, let me kind of put this full screen here. So work queue, account approvals. Yep. Okay. Configure view. All right, go to views. They do the collect customer information. They set that to read only. They click submit. And then of course they save. And they go to preview, right? And they go to dashboard. They open up the widgets. They add a widget, which then they do the work list, right? Display work from other work queues work, right? And the work queue that they want to go with is, account approvals, right? They save it, right? And then they move it up, and then they publish. There we go. And that's it for that. Okay. So okay, so we're gonna have it verify the mission exercise there. Okay, we're having a little bit of difficulty with having a little bit of difficulty with the exercise here. It's not willing to open up the um, it's not, letting me open this part out at all here there, folks. Not letting me complete everything here right at this point, even though I've gone through all the steps and I've verified this. I swear, sometimes Pega can be so buggy at times. Okay, there we go. There we go. Okay, so that's all done. So we're gonna move on to the task number 4 here. Um, so I'm gonna move that back over here. Okay, um, so we configure the login view with 3 fields. Hmm. Okay, enroll. Which is a boolean. Submit and add another. We have username, which is a text, so we submit and add another, and then we have password, which we submit. So we have all 3 of them. Ensure that the value that is entered in the password field is masked so that others cannot view the data. Configure the visibility condition on the username and password fields so fields are visible when the enroll checkbox is not selected. So So if I'm not mistaken, they are. Yeah, let me make sure that you guys can all see what we're doing here. Yep. Okay. So this is all done here, which I believe that they are going to, um, just kind of click submit and we move on to the next step, which I believe we're going to be kind of um, going into more of a view field or whatnot. Right. Yep. Submit. Okay. Which they save. And then they switch over to Dev Studio. Okay, we're gonna pause there real quick. Saving that, moving over to Dev Studio, which they told, and they're going to case types, they're going to rental reservation, probably login, and they're probably going to have us, do some, oh, nope, never mind. They're not even going there. Okay, never mind. Let's go ahead and close all of these down because they're kind of in the way. They actually went to app, not case type. So they go to rent a reservation. They go to user interface, which um, is not showing login. Let's refresh it. Ah, there it is. There's the login. Okay, so here's the enroll username and password that they're kind of talking about. Um, so once again, we need to change the password there to be a password, so it kind of hides the so it's masked. Um, and then visibility. Um, um, let's see. Most likely condition for when rule when. Uh, nope, that's not correct. Um, okay. How did they get the Boolean field to be there to the main? Condition, okay. And they put in a field there. Um, okay. So basically, I'm gonna try to do this myself. Enroll is equal to false. Yes, they do the exact same thing with the username here. So, okay. They submit that. They change the password. No, they change the password to the password element, right? That hides the data. That's fine. They changed the always to the condition. They put in the enroll ins false. Just making sure that that's indeed what they're doing. Yep, that's indeed what they're doing. And then they save it. And then they create a new reservation where, they're hiding the username and password. All right. So save that, close that out. New rental reservation, which, uh, they're showing this. So if you do enroll, there you go. If you don't have it, there you go. And obviously we don't have any like official record per se in there, although that just worked. But most likely that was because of Tom. But again, you don't see the information being transferred from information before about that. So, but we're going to go ahead and verify the admission exercise, which I will go ahead and show that, we verified that. So there you go. We've completed step 4. Okay, so we move on to the step 5. Allow authorized customers to skip the collection customer information step. As a customer, if I already have an account, I want to authorize myself by using my login credentials so that I can skip the collect customer information step. Allow a customer to enter a username and password if they are not requesting a new account. Check the credentials for match in the customer system record. If you find a match, skip the create new customer process and then proceed to the enter rental reservation step. If you find no match, send the following message to the user. We do not recognize your username and or password. Configure a report definition name customer credential lookup to query the rental customer data object, then return a unique identifier field, PYGUID, filter report by username and password, using parameters to pass the values. Edit the filter conditions to use null if empty, while in this case the username and password would never be null. Pega platform generates a severe warning if this option is not enabled because report definitions can be used to multiple contexts. Add a data page name, the customer credential lookup to the rental customer data object. Configure the data page to return results by using the report definition that you created. Configure the data page to require parameters for the username and password, and then pass the parameters to the report definition. My God, there's a lot of requirements on this one. Configure the edit validate rule and validate login credentials to display a message. Right. The value of enroll field is false. Data page returns no results when called using the syntax. The customer credential lookup. While creating the edit validate rule and the pages and classes tab, use code Pega list for the class. Call the validate rule from the flow action for the login step. Add a condition to the create new customer process to start the process only if the value enroll field is true. Okay. So close that down. There's a lot here to unpack, and to be honest, I don't know what's the first thing that they're going to be doing on this there, folks. So I'm just going to go ahead and look at what they have here. Okay, so at the very start here, shit. No. I accidentally went back. There we go. Let's see. They went configure. They went. Wait. Or no, they went the create data model, data page. Customer credential lookup. Did they? Yeah, okay. Their their description isn't really talking about this all that well. Um, but yeah. Um, hmm. Apply to that and create an open. Okay. Rentals, data, rental customer, car rentals, yeah, okay. The credential lookup, gotcha, create an open, okay. Um, I have a funny feeling that we're going to be changing the source on this one. Okay, that's gets turned into list. And that gets turned into report definition. Okay, so list, report definition, um, hmm, what did they mention on here as to what they are looking up at? Hmm. Okay, I'm not quite sure what they're going to be looking after on this one, so I'm going to go ahead and continue with where they left off here. And they put in customer credential lookup again. Which again, as you can see, the the information being presented here isn't um, being found, which is, you know, a little weird. I'm assuming that they're going to be clicking on this next one. All right, hold on. That changed a little bit here. Hold on. Let me back up the video here a little bit. Okay, it's very, very subtle, but um but yeah, let me try to slow it down a little bit. Here, let me kind of show it to you guys here a little bit. Um, so they just put in the value there, and if you, damn it, trying to see, there it is. It's barely there for like a second, you know, before it switches over to the next screen, which is kind of unfortunate. They really should have kind of had them kind of show this a little bit more concerning that. Um, Here, let me go ahead and bring the other screen back up there for you. You know, the the name and response transform. It's like, hey guys, can you maybe show that off or something like that? Oh, did I? No, okay. I was about to say, I'm like, did I screw up there? Report definition, which they put in the customer credential lookup, which didn't they use already? Yeah, they did. And that's the reason why I really don't like it when they repeat, you know, um, keywords like that. But whatever. They do create and open. Okay, there's that. I'm assuming that they're probably going to be wanting to go to, say, like data access, or no? Maybe pages and classes. Here, let's find out. They went to parameters. Okay. They put in username and password. Gotcha. Fantastic description there, guys. Okay. Looks like they're about ready to go back to query. And oh, I need to change this back to that. Okay. Okay. They do a PY UID. And they are adding in two filters. Well, that didn't really work very well, now did it? Okay. If I'm hitting tab from right there, guys, maybe use the Um, you know, maybe switch over to the next one there. Okay. Use null if empty. Use null if empty. And then save. Okay. So they go in here. They click on these. And you just click on save. I'm assuming that we're just gonna kind of go back through everything. Oh, no, okay. We apparently are gonna be going to parameters and add in some more values in here. Username and password, gotcha. Okay. They changed the parameters there. Which they do the param username, param password, and okay, hold on. They did kind of do the okay, they didn't capitalize params or anything along those lines. Okay, so click submit, click save. Let me go to app, process, flow action, login, validation. Validate, login, credentials. They build that. They could do create open. Which I'm assuming that they are going to do like two properties here for both the username and then the password to verify. And then maybe have the pages and classes searching for the particular page. At least that's what I think they're going to do. Property, username, okay. Then they add. Whoa, they skipped a lot of steps on that one. My God. Okay, so the expression evaluates to true. They have dot enroll is equal to false. Why they're redoing this, I don't really know, but um, like um, if enrolls is false already, then the login wouldn't be showing anyway. So to do this. So I don't know why they're doing this to begin with, but um, I don't know. Again, it's sometimes the process that they do on Pega sometimes confuses the hell out of me at times. So like there wouldn't be a okay, well apparently I can't look at the entire function there. So I'm hoping that they added that above. Yeah, they did. Okay. Okay. And then they had the message. Which is exactly what they kind of have here. Which they click submit. Okay. And then they go to pages and classes, which is what I was kind of figuring that they were going to be doing anyway. Okay, hold on. So again, I don't know why they include this because they don't have the potential of seeing the login if this isn't already set to false anyways. So that's why I'm like, what's the purpose of this first part of the if you can't even if you can't even see the login or the username, it's like what's the purpose, you know? So I don't know. It feels odd. Um, so okay, so that's that. They do the customer credential lookup, which again I would figure that they would have some form of um, um, you know, some form of like lookup on these as well. You would figure, but they're not doing that. Okay, they just kind of go over here to click on save. Gotcha. They go back to login. They save that. All right, and they're going back there. Okay, so that's saved. Click on login. That's saved. I'll just kind of save through all this again, and we'll just kind of close that one down because um, they were apparently going back to it anyway. So rental reservation, and most likely they want us to go to login. No. Okay, so they are changing this around. So the always process is more of an expression for dot enroll. So, and then they save that. So whenever the enroll is marked, then it will go into the create new customer apparently. So, and they're not even saying, if enroll is true in this particular case. They're just basically saying, hey, if enroll is active, or in this particular case, if it is true, then they will move on. Okay, a short way of them doing it. It's okay. Okay, so they just went straight into the save and run. So I guess we're just kind of done with that, huh? So if you do enroll, click on submit, it goes into collect customer information. If um, and then they say, hey, do another one, and then put in a false, um, you know, username and password, click submit. We do not recognize your username and or password. If I use a username that has been created, but maybe I mess up the password, and let's see what happens. Again, do not recognize the username and password. If I do uh, the password from before, though, there it goes. It comes on in. So okay. Looks like we are done with that one. So we're going to verify the mission. And we got 100% on that one. So let me go ahead and show that off, or show the fact that, that's been done. So, okay, moving on to step 6. Okay, hide that. Okay. The steps are still really complex, and again, it's one of those things where it's like, you know, I feel as though I'm very confused about, the process that they're going about doing this a little bit. I kind of wish that I had like more of a foundation, but we're gonna just kind of continue moving on here a little bit. When returning customers authenticate their account, display first name, last name, email address fields from the customer data object, top of the enter rental information step. Um, Enter a field name, customer, and the rental reservation case type. Configure the customer page property to pass the customer parameter, create a data transform name, set customer key with a step to conditionally copy PYGID from the customer credential lookup data page to customer only when enroll is false. Call this data transform from the login connector. Okay. Use the syntax the customer credential to copy value to the customer data page to the customer GUID. Okay, so um, so the customer page property pass. Hmm. I'm thinking on step 6 here that I need to configure the view. I need to create a field and call it customer GUID, and that will be, what's needed here. But I'm not. And then of course, trying to actually configure the page property to pass information is not something that I'm, you know, exactly, 100% on. So it's one of those things where it's like I really wish that they had a little bit more on. Okay, okay. Oh, they're kind of skipping ahead a little bit here. Okay, we're gonna cancel that because apparently that's not what they're wanting us to do. We're gonna be going back to App Studio. Um, we're going to go to Data, rental customer, they go to views. They basically selected a new view for some reason. Why they did a new view, I'm not quite sure. Let me look at the description here again. Um, yeah, I have no idea. I have no idea why they're creating a new view. They don't say anything here about a new view needing to be created in the description here. So I have no idea what they're doing. And again, this falls into the fact that they don't really explain themselves very well, you know. So okay, so apparently they did confirm customer, which again, um, yeah, they don't have anything concerning confirm customer as a new view or anything along those lines. So it's okay. Well, I'll have to send them a suggestion about this afterwards because it feels as though they are really um, not helping us out in terms of the oh wait, hold on. They have first name, last name, and then email address. They don't you have to have them like in their specific order, or otherwise you'll have to like try to change it afterwards, and they don't really do that very well. So okay, so we submit that, we save that, confirm customers there. We go to data pages, we go to here and open Dev Studio again. Okay, we're going to parameters. We're going to this and say this is not required. Okay, hold on. You're going a little too fast here. Let's see. Then they have some form of count. Why do they have any kind of, why are they bothering with this? I don't remember our counts prior. No, I don't see a count anywhere in here. God damn it. Okay. At Okay, at this point in time, I'm just gonna follow the videos and just kind of do what they are talking about, or do what they're showing here, and just gonna do pretty much a copy and paste of what they're doing on the videos there, folks. At this point in time, they're adding information here that they're not even talking about in the description. And I find that again, it's not helping me out as a developer because they're they're not telling me like, hey, you need to change the rental customer receivable to add in the fact that there's now a new count that needs to be added in there. Okay, they're not addressing that in the description, and I find that that's very problematic. Okay, if this is something that I'm getting um, from a business analyst, they're doing a really crappy job at it because they're not telling me everything that the customer needs in this particular case. So I'm having to kind of, I'm probably going to mess things up if I didn't have this count prior. Okay. And that's obviously, that's going to get me fired, if that happens. So it sucks. I really don't like this, what they're doing here. Okay, so we're adding another additional source on here. If note enrolled, whatever that is. Look up. Rental customer. Okay. Parameters. Okay. Param. Oh, hold on. Submit. Then I need to go to this note enrolled. And they didn't change anything here from the looks of it. Nope, they're going up to the create and opened. They go into the pages and classes and they add in additional information here. So again, PY work page, you know, it's one of those things where it's like, I really wish I knew what they're kind of trying to go for here on this, but okay, we're going to advanced. Okay, and they added in some additional information here. Okay, everything else looks the same. We come on over here to save. They go back to that. They click save. Okay. And you go to app. Okay, hold on. So we have this saved. I'm going to close that down. We're going to save that. Close that down. They go to app, which not quite sure exactly where they're going to go from here, but we'll see. So that's a reservation. They go to property. Wait, hold on. No, they go to data model. They go to property. And then they do a create new property. Okay. They do the customer GUI, customer GUID. Okay. Which they do the create and open. Okay, which I'm assuming they're probably going to want to maybe go to maybe advanced on this. Wait. They don't even do anything with that. Wait, what? Hold on. Let me back it up a little bit. Okay, they apparently didn't want to do anything with this. They just kind of go over here to customer. And I'm assuming that they were wanting to do the um, the one parameter down here for the um, for the customer GUID, like that maybe. Okay, it's a little different. So, okay, well, that doesn't help. And they have the count of one there for some reason. I I I don't know what their reasoning is for this whole count there, folks. They never mentioned it anywhere in the description, so I don't know what they're really trying to go for there. So, okay, now they're creating a new data transform. So they're saving that. Um, there it goes. So they go here, they create set customer key. They do a create and open. Okay. Pages and classes. Okay. So they have quite a few different page names now. So let me go ahead and type all this in. Actual lookup again. Okay. So the tour data rental customer. And another page here of the D rental customer. Tour. Data rental customer again. Okay. What else do you change? You go to definition. Change this to when. Okay. And then they add in a lot of information here. Pardon me. Let me go ahead and take care of this. This is another thing that kind of throws me off. Sometimes they will use like the double equals for like, conditional checks, and other times they don't. And they do like condition, when the role is equal to false, or something along those lines. And it's like, wait, don't you want like double equals for conditional, condition checkings? But I don't know. It's doesn't always, you know, um, okay. That's about as far as they go here. Okay, they're doing this. Okay, and this is where they throw in that one script that they did include somewhere. Hold on, let me see if I can find it again. Um, there it is. At least I think that's the script that they're looking up. Yep, 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 yep. Okay, yep, that's the one that they use there. So submit that. They save that. And then they go over to case types, rental reservation. And then they configure the view. View, nope, 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 nope. They go to fields, okay, which they do the customer, do read only, and then they do the confirm customer. Oh, hold on. They went a little too fast on that. Not quite sure where they went after that. Looks like they went to just do the confirm. Or they did the submit, okay. Okay, then they go to the login or authenticate existing customer. They go here. Then I think they select the, did they select this? No, they didn't select that at all. What are they doing here? They did the open process there, okay. Okay, open process. Right, they did that. They clicked on this, which they viewed the properties. Okay, and that's that. They scroll on down to apply the data transform, which they set the customer key. Hey there, Mercy. How you doing? Which they then submit, and then they saved. They go back here to go back to stages and that, and then do the save and run. Record is stale. Okay, well, something happened here. Let's kind of go back here a little bit. Let me make sure that I'm doing this correctly again. Hold on, let me kind of. Oh, hold on. Stop. Pause. Okay, we're going to go through this here a little bit. Confirm customer, right? Do the submit. They go to the authenticate existing customer, click on that, right? They go to open process, right? That opens up that. They click on the login process, they view the properties, gotcha. They scroll on down. They apply the data transform, which they do the set customer key. They click on submit, which is what I did. They click on save, which I did. And then they go back to stages and do the save and run. That's exactly what I did. So what is going on here? Why am I getting this error pop up all of a sudden saying, "Hey, your record is stale"? It's like, um, huh? Okay. Well, we'll just, I guess, close on down on these, and we'll just save and close everything for the time being, and we'll see what's kind of going on here because they didn't do this, so I'm just kind of clearing all this out. Click on save and run, and again, this isn't, okay, let's just maybe do a refresh, save and run. Okay, now it's working. Okay. for some reason they're like, oh yeah, everything is working perfectly fine. We're not having any issues whatsoever. Okay, so they basically put in, the username and password, which, I've already kind of created a record per se. So, and there it is. Okay. Google, stop asking. Go away. So there's you know, the name, the first name and last name that was kind of added in here. So it's like, okay, I guess this is exactly what they are looking for. That's all done. So we're going to go ahead and verify the mission exercise, which I will go ahead and show right now. That, hey, it's processing. Oh, hey, we didn't do. But I did do that. But I did do that. What? Huh? I did exactly what they needed me to do on this. What the? Huh? Let's do a refresh on here and let's see what's. Okay, I don't know what is going on here, so. Huh? Node enrolled always? What the fuck? Um, okay, that looks fine. Set customer key, that's fine. Okay, that's fine. Okay, let's go back and see, um, where was it when they were kind of talking about um, there it is, the new enrolled. So this is a win rule on the data page. So, of the civil rental customer. Okay, hold on. Right, so it was in the view area. Hold on, let's go back to the App Studio. Here we are. Here's the note enrolled. Everything looks fine there, so hmm. That looks fine. Here, let me kind of show you what I'm talking about there. So there's that. To definition, they add the node enrolled, which, just to kind of show what, you know, show the fact that I have the exact same thing there. So, node enrolled, lookup, right? Rental customer, right? Now there's nothing else there. You go into the parameters, which is, just a param PYGUI, so, which, that's what I got. You go into the node enrolled, which they created. They go into the pages and classes, and then they, hold on. I wanna show the fact that, I have the exact same thing here there, folks. Just so, you're aware, like, hey, I'm using the exact same thing here, so they go to the advanced, okay, and then they add in this information here, which again, is, exactly what I have here. So there's really no change in that right at this moment in time. So then they go back, they save that, and then they go back and then go to the app, go to data model property, and then they add a new and they create a new property. So I mean, it's like this node enrolled should be perfectly fine. I don't know where they're coming up with this node enrolled comma always in this. You know, I don't know where they're coming up with. Come on, stop doing that. I don't know where they're coming up with this. That's nowhere in the code that I've done so far. So it's like, what are you even talking about here? Can you stop refreshing like that there, page? So Savable rental customer data pages uses a node enrolled when condition to select from two data sources. keeps on refreshing, and it's like, my God, stop refreshing on me, fuck. When name not enrolled always was not found. Hmm. No. Ah, God damn it. I mean, I have it here. Why are they having such a issue with this right at this moment in time? Let me verify. I saved the other two. I saved it again. I'm verifying it. No, it's not. It's not wanting that. Oh, this refresh is killing me here. Okay, so it's supposed to be looking up the save new customer, or the rent a customer GIUD. So, and that's what it's currently doing right at this moment in time. So, um, okay, I don't know what's going on here. Um, I really wish I knew what was going wrong on this because, I mean, I'm clearly showing the fact that I have note enrolled. There is no comma always here for some unknown reason. I don't know why they think that that's here for some reason. I mean, that's not anywhere in this. Why they found node enrolled always. I don't know why they're having this here. That doesn't make any sense whatsoever. So this is a bit rough on that. Um, so I don't know what's going on here. Um, the the second part that it's having a problem with is the fact that it's saying, check to see whether or not the PY work page is to check whether the enroll is equal to false, and um, that's like within the node enrolled, and as you can see there, it's looking to see whether it's equal to false. Um, so as you can kind of see here, it's like once again, they're doing this noted always, whatever that's all about. Um, so I don't know what the hell this is all about. But I'm clearly showing the fact that I have Node enrolled and all that, so I don't know what this is all about. Um, and um, one of the problems that I have with this is the fact that I don't have like someone in Pega Academy kind of following along with me right now. Um, otherwise I'd be like saying, "Hey guys, I'm having a problem with this right now. In your system, I'm having this problem using your system, trying to do this, and you're coming up, you're putting this really confusing information down on me on this, and this isn't what I did. I followed your steps to the letter in your video, and I get this crap." Now, if I was to put in a suggestion right at this moment in time that, hey, I'm having problems with this, they basically say, well, you know, hold off, don't change anything. We're going to look at your version versus, the version that we have on record, or, we need to do a check on it and stuff like that, and we'll get back to you. And obviously that would slow down the process that I'm trying to take here and trying to get this test done, this exercise done. So, um, okay, so one would figure that as soon as it's done with the failure here, it would basically say, okay, we're gonna stop all the rest of the checks because you apparently didn't pass the rest. But it does go back through all of this and it checks and it says, hey, no, it's working perfectly fine for the rest. So it's very confusing to me. It's like, okay, well, you know, if these are failing, then how are these working properly in some cases? Shouldn't some of these be failing if I'm having a problem with the node enrolled in that particular case, you would think? Aren't these kind of built off of the note enrolled win? So how are these working perfectly fine, but these are not? So that's another one where it's like, okay. Um, okay. Um, well, I'm probably coming close to their 3 hour mark anyway. I'm 2 hours in. Well, yeah, I'm 2 hours into this video here, and I'm not even halfway through their process here. Um, which is another reason why I feel like the amount of time that they give you and the amount of time that the amount of tasks that they give you is very unreasonable because you're having to kind of read through all of this, try to process exactly what they're talking about, trying to figure out well, in some cases read between the lines because they're not giving you all the information on these. um where's count in here? Where's count anywhere in this page? This is the only two spots where they talk about count. They don't mention count anywhere in the description. Um, oh, this is so frustrating. um, all right. I'm so what I'm gonna do right now is I'm just going to go ahead and um, put down my suggestions on this because this has been quite a frustrating process already. Um, I'll try this again tomorrow because I know that I'm not going to be well. For one thing, I can't even get through the um, I can't even get through their exercise for some reason. Um, so I don't know where they're getting this note enrolled always from. This is, you know, very, very confusing on this. So, okay. Okay, this is an exercise issue. Okay, gonna go ahead and add the picture in. There's that. Uh, so I've been trying to work on this exercise, and it has been quite a confusing and irritating process. First problem. Um, you are wanting to have everyone go through the exercise, trying to remember everything that they have covered previously, but that is a lot of information that the challenge is never reinforced. One of my problems with challenges is that they pretty much handhold throughout the steps. You don't really learn very well with the hand holding, and it doesn't reinforce previous challenges and the new challenges. So when you get to the mission exercise, good luck on trying to remember everything, especially when you've only done it once, you know, weeks ago. and don't give me that the, you know, mission can be completed in days, because no one can do a mission 24/7, and the time estimates are terrible. Um, uh, Second problem. 15 tasks, and the descriptions are horrible. I'm having to go through the mission exercise videos because there are there's information being put into the videos themselves that are not addressed in the description. For example, just did task 6, which does not mention once in the description about count. Would highly recommend that you review the videos, the tests, and the description, and get them all lined up. I'm not a mind reader, so I'm gonna have problems if the description doesn't give me what I need to place within the application. I'd be firing the business analyst if this is the description handed to the devs. Third problem. Ran into a problem with my instance saying that I got a note enrolled always? What? Nowhere in my work, which I was following the steps in the video, did I ever have note enrolled always. So what is going on here? I can't get past task 6 because I don't know what it is talking about. It's pointing to something that doesn't exist unless it is something that is wrong with the test itself. Fourth problem. The process of watching the video and going step by step through the video, I'm trying to finish up task 6, and I'm already at 2 hours into this exercise. If the exercise stops at 3 hours, then there is no way that I can complete 15 tasks within that amount of time, especially when you are expecting us to read through the description for the first time, try to understand the description for the first time, especially when we are confused on what you are needing. Hey there, Ace. Ace. Hey there. How's it going? Welcome to the stream. How's your day been? um. And trying to build everything that is needed to complete all 15 tasks. Have you gotten someone to go through this exercise for the first time and timed them because it so far does not feel like I would be able to complete the 15 tasks in the 3 hours that I'm limited to. Oh boy. Hey there, Ace. I'm currently trying to finish off the Pega environment exercise um, at for the very for the mission, the system architect. If you know anything about programming, um, you probably haven't heard about the Pega environment. Believe me, I didn't. When I was kind of going through um, when I was going through college, never even heard of the Pega environment whatsoever. Apparently, it's some environment that is being used by a lot of big businesses nowadays. I don't really know. Again, it's not one that is very it like it's very expensive, so obviously colleges don't really know about it, so they're not really teaching about it at all, or even they probably don't even know about it. So it's something that is really uh, high in depth, or being used quite a bit in India. So um, a lot of um, citizens in India have been apparently learning the Pega environment so that they could kind of use it on their own. But and right now um, I'm putting in a suggestion for them because I've been quite it's been this exercise has not been very helpful, or it hasn't um, the exercise is meant to kind of test our knowledge about everything that we've learned so far on the Pega environment. Basically saying, hey, can you do this? Can you do that? Can you do this other thing? But it's not necessarily handholding us anymore. They're basically expecting us to um, know everything that we need to know about how to, construct something. So basically, think of it this way. Um, you know, if you're like learning how to be like a car mechanic or a carpenter or something like that, you're kind of learning like step by step how to go about like taking apart like, a car engine or something like that. You have to, you know, um, in order to get down to um, the cylinders or something like that. Obviously, you're gonna have to kind of take part after part after part and then be able to kind of put it all back together again, right? With no spare parts. So think of it this way, where it's like, throughout this process of the Pega environment, they're basically showing you, okay, this is how you need to take off the radiator. This is how you need to take off the, um, you know, uh, take off the air filter, so on and so forth, right? They do this step by step on how to go about doing it, and at the very end, they're basically saying, okay, this is your test now. You need to take this one car engine that we've been kind of working together for a long time now. We need you to tear it completely down and then put it right back together again, or something along those lines, right? So, well, I felt like they haven't really done a great job on teaching that very well. So, So I'm just kind of putting some problems that I've encountered so far with this exercise down. Obviously they don't have to listen to me at all on it, and they can completely ignore me. So, um, so yeah, it's been a bit rough. So I'm a college student. I'm into programming too. I'm learning Java and data structures. Ah, gotcha. Um, so yeah, um the Pega environment is actually built off of Java, you know. So what they've been doing what some of the big businesses been doing lately is they've been kind of purchasing this Pega environment, which you're welcome to get, create yourself an account on the Pega Academy if you want to and start learning on that page. But obviously, you're probably not going to be seeing any kind of classes concerning the Pega environment at all because again, it's a very expensive environment. They're probably not going to be doing much about that. Um, um, so yeah. But this was the last job that I had for a short time, for a year. But I never got my certification on it, so I've been trying to work my way to getting my certification. So, Um, if you want to check it out, I mean, I have a full playlist of everything that I've done for concerning the Pega Academy 8.7. So you're welcome to go to Pega Academy, create yourself an account, and go through their missions to learn it yourself if you want to. But that's up to you. You know, um, I'm just saying, like I worked at AT&T that has the Pega environment. So if you had, you know, um, so just be aware, this is something used by like larger businesses for the most part. So if you're willing to try to get into like some of the larger businesses that are out there, such as AT&T, then you may need to learn Pega sometime in the future. Whether or not you're doing that right now in college or afterwards, I leave that up to you. But you're welcome to check out the playlist that I have concerning the Pega environment, the system architect. So go ahead and look through that, and hopefully you enjoy it. There's there's a lot there. Just saying. So um, um, uh, I've done 2 live streams about it on Strange Program. I'll be doing another tomorrow. If you want, you can see what I'm doing and see if I'm messing up somewhere. I would appreciate the feedback. Thank you for your time. And sorry that you had to read all of that. Um, I'll be redoing the exercise again tomorrow. Alright. Oh boy. Still there, Ace, or no? Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and close on down with this though. Um, Apparently something happened along the process here that um, it aired out and said, nope, we're not going to do this. We're going to um, kind of um, stop what we're doing here. So, so yeah, we're just gonna be done. We'll stop this for now. Um, I can't even get through step 6 on this. This is going to be a rough process there, folks. I mean, I can't even get through the exercise here. And if they're expecting me to get this all done in 3 hours, and the fact that it took me what, an hour and a half, maybe 3 hours to kind of get through all and get through step 6. I'm not. I'm trying to get it all done in 3 hours feels like a miracle so far. Um, but obviously, I'm not going to be able to complete it now. So I have to reset the Pega instance in order to complete it within the 3 hour time limit. So there's nothing I can do. They're gonna lock out. They're gonna lock this process up on me if I don't reset it. So um, but it's like steps like step 6 that it's like there's a lot of information that they packed in there, and it's like where's count. you know um they're giving us variables that or they're using variables in the mission exercise that they don't even reference in the description, and um that's where you know and I know that if I use any other name or something like that, then they're probably going to be like, "Oh, well, you messed up here, you know. You're not using the name that we want you to use," or something along those lines, right? They're going to be saying, "Hey, we're expecting, we expected count, but you gave us like number or something like that." You know, yeah, it's pretty, you know, uh, case in point, or here, let me go back to the live here real quick. So, case in point, the savable rental customer data page has two parameters, PYGUID, which, I mean, that's standard, or that's a standard parameter name. So, I mean, I can understand that, seeing that, but count isn't a standard at all. I can change that name up if I wanted to. At no point did they mention this parameter anywhere in the description. And that's what I have a problem with these particular descriptions. They're basically saying, you know, we're not going to give you anything on this. So, I can check, if, like, for example, I could change the count here to count X. Matter of fact, let me go ahead and do that. Let me restart this here. Let me launch the Pega instance again. We will go, um, not, not there. Civil rental customer, right? We open that in dev. Um, and the parameters here, right? They say, hey, PYGUIDX, let's say, hey, I'm gonna change this to count X, right? We're gonna save that, and we're gonna kind of refresh this here real quick. We're gonna go down to task 6 here, and we're gonna verify the mission exercise, and that 70 is probably gonna drop. Yep. So that's the reason why I have a problem with the fact that their description doesn't have count anywhere in their description. There's nowhere in here that says, hey, the description has the parameter of count anywhere in here. It does not. And that's a failure on their part, you know. How am I supposed to know that they wanted count as a parameter? I don't. I can put whatever, sure it's like, okay, refresh on this. Um, you know, I'm I pulled count from their video, which, this is the solution, not their description. I shouldn't have to be referring to their exercise solution, their video here, to get through the process of their scenarios here. I shouldn't have to do that. But their description isn't giving me all the information that I need in order to get through this exercise properly. And I think that they really need to revisit this. They really need to redo this, because this is a failure on their part. You know, like can you see count anywhere in task 6? Just to like name one problem out of this, you know. So that's why it's like, okay, guys, um, you know, um, the I feel like, um, it's been my experience with the Pega Academy that in some ways they're kind of doing a really um they're doing a very shotgun effect kind of thing. Like they're shooting and seeing what hits, and that's it. They're not. It doesn't feel like they're really doing a lot of quality control on this. It feels like like for example, I often find that the time limit that they put on some of these on these challenges, on these topics, on these exercises does not match with what is truly going to happen. Okay. Um, like, you know, uh, what they probably should do is like, every time they do like a Pega Academy, like, okay, so for example, their instructor-led training, right? After their instructor-led training, they should have all their students go through the mission exercise, right? Because I mean, the mission exercise should be a process of everything that they've learned in the um, in their instructor-led training and see how many people struggle during it. Have their instructor kind of watch everybody's progress through it, or be very, be there but not there kind of thing. Like they will kind of be, in a sense, like watching everybody kind of working on. They would basically say, okay, everybody, I need you to do the mission exercise at the very end of this. Um, you know, First, let me know if you have any kind of problems with the description, first off. Second, let me know if you ever used the mission exercise solution. Second. Third, did you have any errors in your user story? Um, and write all that down. You know, Go, okay. Um, I had questions on task one that we had some confusion about this particular description. We had this one these couple of people using the exercise solution. Um, we had these many people having errors in the verifying the mission exercise, and also time how many people completed within the 3 hours that you're looking for. And I I'm pretty sure that they will um I'm I would imagine that a lot of people would kind of struggle trying to get through 3 hours. And obviously you'd want to um uh not have any kind of limit on how much time it takes for someone to kind of get through the process of this. Like, obviously, if you're doing this for the very first time, don't limit it to 3 hours. Just kind of leave it open so that, and time how, what the average is. Sure, someone might be able to kind of get it done in like 2 hours or something like that. But at the same time, like for example, someone like me, the time that the instance takes to refresh sometimes takes a while, and it takes a long time in some cases. So, I mean, I've shown that firsthand how long it takes just for the launch to load. You know, so um, so yeah, I feel like they really need to kind of work on this a little bit more. 15 tasks to get through all of this in 3 hours. Okay, think of it this way. You have to get through 5 tasks per hour. So that would mean that um, you are doing one task every 12 minutes. One task every 12 minutes, there, folks. If you're not doing a single task in 12 minutes, then you're not going to be able to finish this up in time. That includes reading through this and then trying to go through all the process of actually creating it, by the way. You know, read through the description and figure out, hey, are you able to, like, you know, number one, you know, um, you know, one thing that they could, they really need to, as Pega Academy, they really need to, um, first thing, first thing they need to do is, does the 3 hours start when the page loads or when the instance is launched? I don't really know. I think it's when the instance is launched. Does it start the timer for the 3 hours? I don't know. If it's at the very top, if it's at the very start when the page loads, then they're gonna also need to take in the time that someone needs to read through the scenario, you know, and add that in. They're gonna need to time when a person can get through all this. And it doesn't feel like some of these are able to be done in 12 minutes either. So, you know, they need to test this with brand new brand new devs from like across the world or something like that, where they don't have necessarily direct computers linked in with their servers to, for their Pega instance to load everything up instantaneously, you know. So so yeah, um and I don't this is 8.7. I don't know what they did for the 23. Let me see what they did for the 23. Okay, so apparently I guess they learned that the they got a lot of complaints about the fact that it was 15 tasks in 3 hours. Now it's 6 tasks in 50 minutes. Um, okay, let me see what they have here. Let's see if there's something going on here. Now, at this point in time, they probably don't even give a damn about, what I'm even talking about at this point, because the 8.7 is well beyond their what they even care about. So they're probably at this point ignoring my emails concerning 8.7 because they don't really care about it anymore. You know, they've already pretty much said like, hey, um, if you really care, you need to switch over to 23. You know, stop working on 8.7, go to 23. That's what they're probably gonna talk about. To be honest, but and they're right on that. I should be kind of focused more on the 23. You know, but at the same time, it's not it's not completely done yet either. Um, you know. Um, so in some ways, I'm glad that they cut down on the number of tasks. 6 tasks in 50 minutes. I mean, that's um, I mean, it's not even 10 minutes per task at that point. It's one task per 8 minutes. So I don't know. Um, 40 questions in 1 hour? Hold on a second. 60 questions in an hour and 30 minutes. I mean, it's about the same equivalency, but again, it's one of those things where it's like, um, hold on, I'm not really showing you guys this. Sorry about that. Um, Here, hold on. Let me go back to 23 here so you can kind of see what I'm looking at here. So so you have, the system architect here, six tasks, 50 minutes. So I mean that's, you know, 8 minutes per task in this particular case. So I hope they've timed that properly. Um, but I don't really know. It definitely looks as though the description is still fairly the same for the most part. Like if um for one thing, it doesn't feel like this one is using all of the um this doesn't look like it's using the 8.7 scenario very much. Um And it doesn't feel like you're going to be going through everything that you learned in the full mission. This almost feels like like a disservice in a small way. You know, again, I'm not 100% sure on this. I'm not going through Pega 23 on this, so I don't really know. I can't really say. Um, Now, one could say like, hey, you're learning all these steps through the challenges anyway, so, what's the point of doing, the final exercise? Well, the final mission exercise and mission test is, one would think meant to kind of yeah, push you as to whether or not you've learned everything that you've kind of worked on throughout the entire process. So it should be something, like, okay, the 8.7, you know, like, I don't mind the fact that if it's the 15 tasks, I don't mind the 15 tasks, okay? That sounds like, hey, you're getting put through everything in this entire process, okay? It is going through every single thing step by step for you in some small fashion, right? You're not necessarily building something from scratch though. Okay? They're not when you launch the instance, um they're not having you build the stage, the case type. They're not having you do that, which again is kind of like a um well, I mean, I would say that it's on one hand, kind of unfortunate because, um, as a developer, you should know how to actually, create a case type and build up everything inside of it. Um, but at the same time, as a system architect, would you be making the case type the way you know, the way the business analyst wants? Probably not. Because let's face it there, folks. The business analyst is probably going to be building the case type, in its entirety, how they want it to kind of flow through, the entire process, right? They're probably creating that, click customer information. They're probably putting together, how it looks, how it, flows, and so on and so forth to a certain extent. So as a system architect, the dev, you're probably not going to be seeing too much of that, at a very large business, right? You're probably not going to be seeing how to, or the steps necessary to build a case type. So, um, so you may be one of those people that it's like going, okay, here's the case type. Now you're going to go into the nitty gritty of it all and trying to, build those data types, create those connections, create the necessary parameters to make sure that, the login works properly, so on and so forth, right? They may say like, oh yeah, I'll put in these fields in here for you, but um, but as a dev, you're going in and making sure that all the programming is done too. So it's like, on one hand, it's like, okay, um, but okay. My counterpoint to it though is, um, yes, the business architect does have those similar um, attributes, right? They had to learn the low-code app builder and low-code app builder extended themselves, right? But if if the system architect didn't deal with that themselves, then they wouldn't have these missions in there either, right? The system architect would only be focused on the, taking that case type and working with it after the fact, you know. So why would it even bother with like the low code app builder extended style missions where it shows you how to actually build the case type, right? You know, why would they even have the low code app builder in the system architect mission if that was the case? Okay. So, so on one hand, yeah, sure, you probably, you might not necessarily use building a case type, you know, on a regular basis when you're a system architect. That might be true. But on the other hand, why are they including the missions of how to build a case type and so on and so forth in the system system architect mission if that might not necessarily be the case on occasion as well? You might need to build a a case type yourself, as a system architect. Okay, maybe there might not be a business architect on your team, to do that for you. So that's all. That's all I'm gonna say about that. So um so at the end here, let me kind of put it this way. Okay. The I don't have a problem with the 15 tasks that they're giving me on the system architect mission exercise. I don't mind that. I don't mind the sheer scope of all these tasks that they're giving to me, right? I understand, the need to really fully understand the Pega environment. So when you actually go out there on the job, you'll know what to do. You'll be able to handle it at any particular moment in time. If they say, "Hey, I need you to build um, a data table," and fill it up with this kind of information so that we can use it for testing or something like that, then you should be able to go about doing that. You should be able to kind of create it like that, at the drop of the hat. If they tell you like, hey, if you need to do this, if you need to do that, hey, I need you to make me um, a case type for our baking application, and here's what we're kind of expecting, you know, you to do. And you should be able to do that, along with all the with all the steps, under the hood in this particular case, right? So, so I'm not upset about like the overall sheer number of tasks. Okay, I'm not upset by that. Okay, if they give us 15 tasks, then they'll give us 15 tasks. I don't, that's fine. I don't really care too much about that. Okay, what I care about is the fact that it's the 3 hours does not feel like it matches with the sheer amount of tasks that they give us. Okay, I don't think the 3 hours is um, reflects well about how much time you need in order to complete the tasks. And that's been my problem with the Pega Academy in general. Has been the fact that I go through these topics, I go through these challenges, and you've seen it. Some of these topics, they say like, hey, this should this you should be able to complete this topic in 10 minutes, and it takes me like 30 to read through it all and to understand exactly what they're kind of talking about. You know, um, so I don't think that their time schedule is accurate on these missions. That's been my problem with the Pega Academy for the longest time now, and I really do think that they should try to remedy that. They should try to go back through what they've done. Get a brand new student, like, hey, here's someone from the instructor-led training, brand new, fresh, you know, like, hey, here's the instructor-led training, right? And then they basically say, okay, I need everybody to, we're gonna, and this like, let's do it this way. You know, Here's something that they could probably try out, right? Get a, like, put it, obviously they're probably gonna need to kind of spend their own money on this or something like that. But I mean, let's face it, they're probably getting enough money as it is. Um, like, go to a college or something like that. Say, hey, we have like an internship for the summer or something like that. Say like, hey, we want some programming students to come out, um, or we need some programming students that are willing to log in every day into this instructor-led training to work on this particular project, right? That's something that I would kind of start up first, right? Get brand new students to come in and try to learn the Pega environment for the very first time without any prior knowledge to it, right? Plus it kind of helps spread what Pega awareness is, right? Then what do? You tell all the students that they need to go through, the Pega Platform 23, right? And they, basically they go into like the low code app builder. Okay. They go into the very first mission, low code defined. Okay. And they basically tell, and the instructor basically says, okay, I need you to go into the system architect application. I need you to go into the low code app builder. Okay. I need you to look at the low code application development. Okay. Don't start reading it yet. Just kind of click on the link. Don't read anything. And when I say go, I need you to read, in the way that you feel comfortable with understanding what is being said to you. Okay? And tell me when you are done. Or, click a button or something like that telling me when you are done. And get the average of that. see how much time it takes for someone to kind of read through the low code application development and understand everything that's there. Okay. Then like maybe ask them afterwards, like, okay, you know, what did you learn about this? You know, do you understand what's being said on that? Obviously, time, how long it takes them to get through that, first off, right? Obviously, this is going to be a long process, right? But I mean, this is something that, I feel like they really should try to do, you know, in some cases. But I mean, trying to do that like every summer at the same time might be something a little too much for them too, especially if they bring out a version every single year. It feels like, right? But um, at the very least, they can kind of see, like, they can probably determine like how many words are on the page, right? You know, they should have like a way to calculate how many words are on the page. They should determine how fast everybody reads at that particular pace, right? Understand like, what is the average um, reading skill that everybody has, and then ask everybody like questions about it, like, what did you learn from it? Was there some parts that were confusing to you? Blah blah blah, and kind of take in their information along those lines and say, okay, did you understand this part? Did you understand that part? And I feel like that should be something that might be very useful for them because it might help them understand like how long it takes for them to kind of get through that. So I don't know. Hey there, Roblox. How you doing? Welcome back to the stream. How you been doing? Yeah, I remember you there, Roblox. I do. So no worries on that. Sorry, I got a little sidetracked on that, but okay, I'm gonna go ahead and stop the video here for the Pega certification stream. So I want to thank everybody that's been watching this series so far. Stay tuned for tomorrow's video on the Pega certification. We'll start this up again. We'll start up the exercise again, and hopefully I'll be able to get through it. So, all right, start recording now.